means, okay, I got to take another avenue. I got to take another direction type of thing. So that's the mindset that I try to, do my best to stay in. We're all human, but yet and still,
Yeah, I got
you got to take that route, I say, in order to progress.
Well, I want to say, if I may add, and I liked Mr. Marcus' question, does that pressure turns you into diamonds? Everybody here on this call, is my understanding that we're in a space to where we're inventing ourselves, even with our, even with our, even with our guests tonight from Light Productions. When we connected, it hasn't been that long. It's just been like just it hasn't even been a week ago. And I'm looking
Right.
through these stuff, and that was just like an honor just by itself. So just informing me, hey, this is they're from Mississippi, they trying to get back out there. And it's like, okay, then right after that, then you came with the topic. That's like crazy. Like literally, when we could, that was really before you put the topic out there. It
Mm.
wasn't that
Oh,
much
really?
before, yeah, that she had put that topic out there. And so I think that it is very beneficial for people to deal with like-minded people, as Ms. Positive said,
True.
versus dealing with all the negativity, because sometimes we want to be here, but we have to understand that we have to start somewhere. Um,
Mm,
and when you find yourself in a space, not even just professional, whether it's personal, no matter what it is, whether it's personal, you got your journeys, you got your businesses, you got your callings, you got your things you want to do, you got your people you want to help, whatever it is. I do stand firm that you have a right to go after your dreams. It's amazing how we can sit up and we can support other people at times, and we can encourage other people, and we can help keep people motivated. That I'm in a season right now, I'm taking my own advice. I've been able
mhm.
to give all this wonderful advice to all of these people, and I'm in a season. I'm just in a season right now, but the season I'm in is reminding me, okay, Letha, you need to take your own advice, right? I'm giving advice, but I haven't
Mhm.
been taking my own advice. So I got all of these things I want to do. I got all of these ideas. I got all of these things. And through the pain, what is my purpose? How do I move through that purpose? Fear blocks a lot of things. Fear has stopped me. I would tell anybody I can tell people, don't be afraid, move in faith, walk by faith, not by sight. And the whole time I'm afraid of failing. And I think that
Mhm.
sometimes people are not verbal enough, because people think that you all make it look easy. Like Arnold may make it look easy,
Right.
Joe may make it look easy, James may make it look easy, Miss Positive may make it look easy, Frederica may make it look easy, Justin may make it look easy just because people are on the outside looking in. We have Bob joining in. Bob may make it look easy, but people are understanding the endurance, the struggle, the sacrifices, the time, the lack of sleep, the dedication,
Mhm.
all of these things that you go through just to be in a certain element. And that stuff can be
Right.
painful. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that we need to acknowledge the fact that moving in that purpose will come with
Mhm.
pain, but it can still prepare you to sit on any stage, no matter where you are. Don't let me take over. Anybody else?
Um, well, this is Mr. Light Productions, Mr. Michael Mitchell. First, I want to say thank you guys for letting me be on board. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you. Thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate you all.
Thank you. No, I definitely have to say I stand beside that. I remember, the Lord's blessed me. I've gotten to 39 years of age. I'm about to reach the glorious 40 next year in the first part. But when I was young, first starting out, and I really want to say this because growing up in a place like Marion County, Mississippi, everybody talks about how beautiful the Bible Belt is, but there's just a real lack of opportunity. And it's not what you know, but it's who you know. And who you know is selective on who chooses to know them. You had to look and search out for opportunity. And I want to encourage anybody who the Lord has blessed you to get direct opportunities in your hand to go for it. I remember because of the type of area that I grew up in and how I was taught things. At one point, I got an opportunity to go out to Canada and work on some feature films and some TV series that were like my dream project. And I let the relationship that I was in at the time deter me because it was said, hey, if you go, we're not going to be back when you get back. And it was terrifying because, you know, you grew up in this area, everybody typically supports each other, but then you're out in Seattle and then things change. It's a different cutthroat world. You start thinking about, in a realistic way, what we've read, in whether it's in faith or just applied, about the sacrifices that you have to make to get there. Um, don't ever allow yourself to be at a place where you're looking back years later and you're like, man, what would have happened if I had just taken that opportunity? Trust your faith, trust your intuition, trust the relationship you have with your higher power, and go for it. Make wise choices, have a good group around you if possible. But I mean, sometimes you might run and try to get to that mountain and jump and feel like you're bottoming out, but you're going to realize that if you're really going for it, you're going to fly. And it's not that everything always works out perfect. I mean, myself, countless other people, I mean, look at Tyler Perry, have encountered homelessness and so many different obstacles just to be able to get to that point. But it's like that refining point, or even if we go back to the original Aztecs and some of the Ethiopian, Middle Eastern kingdoms, where they had found ways to take mercury and transmute it into gold. You can take poisonous, negative situations through that faith, through that application of just staying consistent and persevere. And that's one thing I wish that I had learned as a young adult that I've been processing now. People are going to come at you all sorts of ways and not understand certain things. But if you have purpose, if you have been taking the time and you know that that's what you're moving with, don't stop, because that's how you were created. You're not going to find happiness anywhere else. You're not going to find anything else unless you're moving in that will that you're created with. So I just want to encourage everybody, go fully for that.
Wow. Like I I'm like literally sitting here like trying to upload it while you saying that, because this is like I'm about to get a little emotional right now. And yeah,
Please
it was
do.
most definitely meant to be for you all to be here, because I can just speak for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but fear has blocked a lot for me. And I'm just in a
Yeah.
season now. I decided not long ago, and I fumbled and made some horrible decisions, and it's okay. But I'm at a season now, I'm just going all in. I'm going all in. I'm not going to be afraid to get out here and connect with people and meet people, and
Right.
just get out here and just and listen. Like you just saying that,
Got to.
I feel like so many people needed to hear that, just in general. So many people. Is there anybody else that wants to piggyback off of what he just said? Because that's like a lifetime of knowledge right there. Well, I would say this: anybody who is amongst this man and anybody who he has contact with, y'all are truly blessed. Um, please make sure you listen, because some people wish they had somebody to speak that type of life and knowledge into them. And then, it's easy to say, oh, men don't do this, men don't do this, women carry so much. But now we have some gentlemen. I think the men have outweighed the women. This is amazing tonight. So
Yes, for the
salute to
first
all the
time in a
men.
long time.
Let's
Yes.
just say salute to all the men.
Well,
First
are
of
you happy,
all,
Justin?
yes,
Right.
Justin, are
Justin's
you
not
happy?
alone tonight.
We want to salute. Matter of fact, we want to salute all the men,
Yes.
because these stigmas are out about men, and men are actually present. And we have
Hmm.
young men and middle-aged men on here. So we want to salute. And so, that narrative does not exist. So we salute to you all for being here. That was Miss Frederica, Justin, anybody, John, Arnold, Bob, y'all are welcome. If you're on here, you're welcome to tune in.
Guess I would
I know.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say if I had a problem getting unmuted, I had to hit *6. So if anybody needs to do that to mute and unmute themselves. I was talking and didn't realize why nobody didn't hear me for a second. Please go ahead, Mr. Justin. Sorry.
All right. I just want to piggyback off of what the brother was saying in terms of like being in that space where you have something that you feel deep inside. You got to do it even if you're afraid. Um Even if you don't know if it's something that's been nagging at you, just do it. And I'm talking from
Exactly.
experience with my situation, like with the book. Just started a business probably 3 months ago. And I'm figuring it out as I go. You got to be consistent, but
Yeah.
do it. Like at the end of the day, I feel like if nothing else, I'll be able to look back and say I tried. But I'm putting my foot to the gas and going all out. So if that is something somebody listening to this is thinking about, man, just step out there and do it. Like if you whatever's on your mind, try it. Like you really, in my mind, I have nothing to lose. I have everything to gain, and that's what I would
That part.
encourage you to do. Just step out there and see what happens. Meet new people. You will be surprised how many people out here uh that if you just do something, they will support you because I'm finding out that people love to see people actually doing something and not just sitting around. So if you got an idea, do it. And in regards to
Yeah.
the turning what is it, pressure into purpose, like no matter where you're coming from, I'll be honest with you, the darker the space you come from, the more potential you have to shine a light on it. And there's somebody or multiple millions of other people who are experiencing that dark place who can't see their way out, and you could very well be the lifesaver for them. So if you got it, do it. If you're the one that's going to step up and shine your light, then step up and shine your light.
I
Justin.
agree fully.
Oh, sorry.
Continue. I'm just agreeing.
Oh. Justin, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you sharing that about your business. I wish you like best of luck, man. And John S, he also started a business. So I just wanted to hear if he was on the same page. He started a business recently, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous in front of large groups, so just please don't mind me. Yeah, I started a business. I clean garbage cans, and I've always been nervous to get out there. Thank you for the round of applause, Lita. Uh, just getting out there and learning how to talk to people. It's been something that I take very deeply, and it's a really good life skill. But I've always never been confident in myself, but actually, putting one foot in front of the other and getting it done, I realized that enough procrastinating, and actually getting stuff done, instead of just being nervous to get my own thing started. But yeah, I did start my own business, so I got that going for me. Thank you, James Dougherty, for helping me participate. Again, I'm very nervous in front of large groups, so thank you very much.
All right. I love that. That was good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You
Thank
don't
you,
have
sir.
to be nervous.
Congratulations.
It's a safe space. No
Thank
one
you.
has to be
Yeah, you
nervous.
did a
This
great
is a
job.
safe space.
It's
Yes,
just a round table of friends. We just sitting down talking.
that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a round table. Anyone else?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to say that, consistency over a long period of time is what's going to get you to these goals. Um, you nothing's going to happen overnight, and it takes work, and that's a big deal.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just taking it step by step. Slow motion is better than no motion. Like he was saying, it wasn't built overnight, Rome wasn't built in a day. So, you got to take it one day at a time. It's a work in progress. So it's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
If
know
I can
what? And
definitely
with that, and even
it
with
was.
that, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just going to say very quickly, one of the best things I did was years ago when we got right before COVID started, and I was in Washington State, and I was just looking. I was like, man, there's certain things that I just need to start looking at differently and changing. And connecting with, we had a lot of business incubators, nonprofits, and startup groups there. That's one thing I do love about Washington, that it does just dwarf Mississippi and their ability to help you get from point A to Z. And I started to realize, I was like, there is so much free resources out here and knowledge. I cannot sit here in a position to not be at least in 50% of my own destiny. Like, there's really no excuse for that. And especially when I hear some of you guys, how young you are, just getting the business started, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Look into your area, find those resources. There's going to be natural pressure into everything that you're doing. But when you bring intuition into your purpose, it brings a different refining to it. So I just wanted to encourage on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say like you in order to do anything I've learned, because I'm like the brother who said he self-confidence and not wanting to really get out there and speak to people, like find that is going to be where your money is made at. That's going to be where you find your purpose at. Because I'll say this, I wrote a book, uh, and then a friend of mine just like kind of made me get on TikTok to talk about it. And I did not write a self-help book, but it became a self-help book because that's the way the people who were on social media have read it. And in that, a therapist read it and encouraged me to go and get my mental health coaching certification. And she offered to pay for it, but I went ahead and paid for it. But like people, I feel like God will put people in your way to help you find your way to the next level. But you got to take that first step. You have to consistently get out there and do things that you are uncomfortable with. And eventually, I feel like things will just fall in your lap because every step of this process have been uncomfortable. I remember sitting in front of the computer, sweating, nervous about clicking the button to become the owner of the company that I just started. And I just closed my eyes and pushed the button. And then I told everybody what it was, and people just kind of start, hey, what about this? What about that? What about this? And then it takes a lot of self-investment. I sat with a
Yeah.
business coach today that is helping me structure things and put things in place. But if you do it, it'll do you. So just keep going. Please keep going because
Yeah.
there may be other people doing what you're doing, but they are not you. So remember that and just keep pushing forward.
True. True.
I would just like to piggyback off of Justin Wilson. Nervous and being fear, it makes us feel alone. But my favorite quote from Michelangelo: somebody brings something to the table, especially the ones that we love. So, I mean, listen, fear can make us feel like we're dead, gone in life, but we really have to just reach out because we all have a quality that we bring to a table. I just wanted to piggyback.
I also want to
Yeah.
piggyback. Uh, I'm sorry. You can go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Justin, you couldn't have said it any better. As someone who started his own business, I did the same thing. It's all about believing in yourself, one foot in front of the other, pushing forwards. That's it. And that's how you succeed amongst your peers, obviously, because they're not going to be able, they might not be capable of doing the same thing that you're doing. You know, you just got to keep pushing ahead, believing in yourself and confidence. That's it. And that's what makes businesses strive. And you couldn't have said it any better. So thank you for that.
I have two little quick stories. One, when you guys mentioned about the fear aspect, for me, I had to start figuring different things out, and I started looking at stressors. There's distress and eustress. Anytime you take fear in a negative situation and it turns into a distressor, you're taken from you. But stress can become positive. Eustress. You can take it and use it to accomplish things. So not everything that we initially encounter has to be negative. Fear can be good, but it's just what you choose to do with it. And a story that I really like that was me conquering my fear years ago. I was in college, Pearl River Community College. Actually, we had to go downtown to New Orleans and do a historical district analysis. And the funny thing is, my English lit teacher, who was a part of it, his name is Justin Williamson from PRCC. So I just thought that was very funny when I logged on today, and I was like, oh yeah. But we were down in the middle of Bourbon Street, and there was this huge 50-foot crane. And at that point, I said, man, I knew I wanted to do film. But once again, where I was raised at, I mean, I grew up with cows, chickens, and goats. Military kid, yeah, so I got to travel a little bit, but I grew up as a country kid. So I snuck on set, and I didn't even know what project it was. And I remember the PA, key set PA, he walked in and saw me, and I was like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm not supposed to be here. And I was about to go into this big spill, and he was like, shh, come on. And I was like, oh, say less, let's go. So then I started going through the set, and I'm like, where am I? Like, whose movie is this? It was like bigger than I anticipated. And I was like, what's going on here? He was like, look behind you. And I turn around and look, and I'm going to tell this story till John Cena hears it and shouts me out one day. And he turns and looks at me, and it's John Cena sitting there. And I was like, whoa. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, this is his first film. He looks at me, he says, hey, stands up, comes, shakes my hand. And I'm like, just kind of blown away because I just was watching this guy live from Connecticut the night before, talking best to The Rock. And he shook my hand, introduced me to director of photography, director, AD, and a few other people. AD took me around, introduced me to a few people, and then I got to intern and work on the project for a bit. So that was like one of the first ways I was able to start sharpening my skill set. But the biggest thing was I had to accomplish looking at myself and saying, can you overcome this fear? Being raised a certain way, I was like, man, if I step over here, I get arrested. I thought about everything that could go wrong. But because I said, you know what, Lord, if this is your will, let it happen. And I remember praying that. And I pressed through the little place I had to get through, and I got there. And it turned out to be one of the greatest empowering experiences I've ever had. And in this industry, I've written books, I've authored a few things, worked on some features, done some music, got to play around with a lot of different things, do sales, all sorts of stuff, right? This story has been one of the mainstays that's really kept me encouraged, because I know that when I'm able to move in faith, I'm able to just press forward and say, you know what, let me just see what's going to happen. I realized that even if it was like, no, you can't be here, leave, I would have at least been like, man, I got to walk around and look at a set, and I got to pick up a call sheet and see what that looked like and understand a little bit more on my journey to understand. That would have been a big help. But then actually getting to be there in the mix and seeing how the sausage is made, so to speak, that changed my entire perspective. So don't let fear take you down. It can be a stressor, yeah, but always turn it into a positive light for yourself. All right, I'm back on mute.
That was
So
great.
Thank you. That was amazing. That was so amazing. Thank you for that. I don't want to take over because I talk too much. Anybody else?
I just
Well,
wanted to say,
oh, go ahead.
I really love John Cena's movies, and it's super cool that you got to see him. That's a really great
Yeah.
start to a career. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his first film, and they were filming the scene where he was going to find his girlfriend, and he was jumping back and forth from the fire trucks, and they're screaming down the middle of Bourbon Street. I got to be there to experience that. And yeah, and then when you meet these people and you realize, like, I can get there, but actually still be a good person, that changes things, because we hear all the horror stories. You see people getting sued all the time. But when you see people who are like, you know what? I know what it's like to be from this situation, and you continue to pay it forward in that way. For me, that's what the love of the creator is all about. And then that's purpose as well. Because when you're in your purpose, you're not going to become a stopgap or a gatekeeper. Now we know history of the old Nagasi, which were, who we are. Um, yes, they watched things, but it wasn't to say, oh no, it's just for me and mine. But are you worthy for it? Are you going to step out of your fear? Are you going to step out of your situation and become aligned so that you can reach this higher vibration and get to what you need? And yeah, I just think it's a great weight or responsibility we have. Once you encounter it, you inherit it. Just keep pushing it forward.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for the wisdom and the knowledge. Just amazing. And thank you all for your testimonies and sharing. Is there anybody else?
I just want to add on. I just want to say that, celebrities, us, regular people, we're all humans. We all started somewhere, and we can all get to that point if we just believe in ourselves, try hard enough, and just, persevere. That's it. We're all people, and we can all get to the top. We just got to keep working. That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So that brings me to my quote of the moment where we talk about the pressure, whereas sometimes pressure doesn't come to destroy us, it comes to have us reveal what needs to be changed. And that is so important in the moment of pivoting and changing at any point in time in life, because I remember back when, everybody used to think about the fact it's like, okay, I'm too old to do this. I'm too old to go back to school. I'm too old to make these changes and do that and do this, that, and the third. And to see at this point in time where it doesn't matter as to what age you are. I always say, as long as you have breath in your body to be able to make the decisions to say, like, you know what? I want to see a different aspect. I want to see a different area. And when that pressure comes in and you say, you know what? I'm going to grab it by the horns. And I say for myself, I'm in my era of rip the band-aid off. So I call this right now my rip the band-aid off era, because I don't care what it is or what's going on. I'm going to rip the band-aid off and I'm going to do it and I'm going to handle it and just keep moving forward with it, because it's either, going to sit me down for a little bit or it's going to propel me forward. And even in that aspect of, if it sits me down for a little bit, it's like, okay, that's the reflection time. That's the time to look at, to say like, okay, what direction do I need to take? What do I need to do in this moment? Or, what I mean, how do I need to plan and map out what I'm going to do? So it's like, yeah, I think for all of us or anybody that's listening, that's something that it's like, we got to look at, how we view things and how we view that pressure in doing that, and, season and stuff that we're in. And like, I just turned 51 last month. And years ago, you couldn't have told me that I'd be doing something like this here. And even, I mean, a few years back when I met Letha, and it was just like, I was like, huh, what? I didn't know what to say, how I was going to say it. I always had the gift the gab, if y'all couldn't tell already. But it's like, I mean, I've always been a talker, and I always was like, well, I can't see myself getting on a screen or getting, I mean, being out there. And what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? I don't know what direction to go and in a setting like this here. And so again, thank you to everybody that is here, because with this right here, usually, it's the four of us. And to have the array of people that we have here, and for us to come together and be able to talk about and to, give, like she said, give those testimonies and to speak about the different things that we go through in life, the more and more we realize how much we're alike, and don't even realize it. When people don't realize how much they're like someone else, because you have those moments of, you could look at somebody, like I could look at all of you, all of your faces, and say, I don't see any way, shape, or form to where, John, you're nervous about being here. Look, I look at your shades like, okay, he's just a cool cat. He just, I mean, that's just, a part of his personality. I look at, same thing with Phil. I look at Phil like that's just your personality or whatever. He's not hiding his eyes or whatever, but that could be an aspect of, there you go, John, take them on. That could be,
Mhm.
just a thing that it's like, okay, a lot of times we'll find that mechanism to hide behind because that's within it or whatever. But me looking in and looking at somebody else, I don't see any of that. I see, the person being here, showing up and being present and look, and John too, look, he's got his cool shades on or whatever, but just showing up to, to be present in a moment. And so, look, like, here goes my shameless plug. That's why, look, I wrote a book as well. Well, I have a couple of books, but I just put out a book today, and it's a self-help
Okay.
guide in which I didn't particularly like Justin. I didn't particularly say that that's what I wanted it to be, but that's what I created it in and how it kind of transformed into that. So when I was going through it and doing it, and I said, you know what? That's exactly what it needs to be. So, it's called The Power of Now, and it is a interactive um sort of like a journal type of book to whereas speaking on how to be present in now because we're so few focused on the future and I've got to get to this point of doing X, Y, and Z. I got to get there. I got to get there. Or even in the sense of with social media, with our phones and things like that, and we're not present in that moment we have to learn how to kind of switch it up to be present in and now, be present in the moment, but also we can have in the back of our minds of what's ahead, what to look, forward to. So in that there is kind of like a self-help guide in thinking about those different things of overcoming those pressures of life, overcoming, those moments to where it's not being present. And so it's just like, this right here, it makes my heart smile seeing everybody here and in this moment and to get the different aspects and different, viewpoints on, what type of pressures you may have went through or how you overcame that pressure and how you decided to pivot and what made you do that what moments so those are some of the questions that I have for everybody in that as to what made you pivot from that what made you say like okay I'm not going to say like I'm just going to fall back from what's going on I'm going to keep pushing forward because I know what I don't know what's on the other side but I got to take that chance. And for me, in answering that question for myself, I say that, I spent so much time of, I say sitting in the shadows and so many ideas and thinking of like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, and not knowing which way to go and putting it out there. And I said, I'm just going to step out on faith. I'm going to just take the leap of faith and do it. And as I'm doing it, I've been coming across, so many different people and getting different aspects from their viewpoints on it and it's been enlightening me on the direction that I want to take on the different ideas that I've come across so it's like that's my reason for the pivot and deciding to say like what like you said earlier, Justin, God puts you in, places, or whatever, higher power you believe in, it puts you in, places in this universe to connect with people and get those viewpoints from other people so that you can be on that page of like, what? You just inspired me. You just enlightened me on something that, whatever idea, thought, or whatever on an aspect of life that's like, what? I didn't look at it in that way and that made me see a different viewpoint to say, like, what? I can take that route. It's not a brick wall in front of me to whereas, I gotta stop and I can't pivot and switch my route. So to look at that pressure as it's not a dead end of if it doesn't go exactly the way that you wanted to go in that moment, It's just like, okay, you got to take a right instead of taking a left. You got to go down this avenue instead of going down this street. So it's like, yeah, that would be the one of the main questions, for everybody tonight as to, what made you, pivot from, whatever aspect or whatever moment in your life to say like, you know what, I'm going to make that change. I'm going to, utilize, this pressure for the purpose of what I'm trying to achieve for my goals.
Right. I know I'll say for myself, it was actually getting back into different understanding of it, but faith. The way how we were raised here in the area, there's it's always rich people are evil. It's almost a subconscious implantation of the mind where it's like it's better to be poor and just be satisfied with whatever you get. Work the job you hate, do whatever you dislike in order to survive. And that's just the way how life is. And it's kind of depressing. And, I went through this period where I was so deep into agnosticism, I pretty much could have been considered an atheist. And then one day I just sat down and started reading the Bible. And next thing I know, I had read the Bible cover to cover in like 3 weeks. But I had such a different understanding that I was like, oh my God. And one of the biggest things that I noticed, especially with the Israelites and the formation of the Levitical code and everything back with Moses, is that it was always the Lord's plan. And if it's the same Lord from the Abrahamic faith, then that's Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. But throughout the Bible, he talks about his mission to the world, where he doesn't want his people just to be suffering. He doesn't want you just to settle. That if he gave you purpose, if he gave you something, speak those things that aren't as if they are and move in faith and go accomplish it. That's a testament of the scripture. So then when I began really realizing, like, wait a minute, I don't have to just settle doing this. I don't have to give up on these God-given dreams and goals, these gifts that he's given me. Then all of a sudden stuff started changing. Now the layout kind of changed for me, but then I began moving with a different sense of empowerment, where even where there's some days I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, I'm done. I just want to leave. I'm tired of this. We have the Nolan Wells. There's always something weird happening out here in the South to people of color and people who hang around them. It bothers you. But when I started putting things in perspective as it aligns for me, then I began finding, well, use your voice. This is the reason why. There's too many examples in the word where it was like you stand up and fight for people. We were always taught, oh, Sodom and Gomorrah was because of other type of things why the Lord cast them down, but it was because they didn't care for the fatherless, the widow, the oppressed. They made life harder for people rather than letting people just enjoy the beauty of what the Lord said. When you look in the word, when we were created as representatives, is Teslim, but it means you're a divine representative of who that individual creator is in the earth. So then that changes your responsibility. That changes my purpose. I'm not going to look to try to do whatever it takes business wise, and that's acceptable by most standards in order to make it. I don't have to jump into that lane. But yeah, just when I began looking and I understood that I can move with purpose, I don't have to walk around with condemnation. I can actually go be successful and be a representation that draws people back to something better. It really changed. And I know other people now grow up in it, but just the era then it was different. So that was just my little piece.
Thank you for saying that, because sometimes that's not addressed enough. That sometimes that, I tell people everything is not always racial, some things are cultural, because
Yeah,
culture has a lot to do with demographics. And
exactly.
sometimes the stigma can be just get along and just get along and just be satisfied and be content. And, sometimes you don't have to, do more. And there's nothing wrong with being
Mm,
content. But I do think that, anybody that has watched me for at least 10 seconds know that it is my personal belief. I'm not claiming it to be a fact, but it is my personal belief that, if you want something, you got to get out here and you got to hustle and grind for it. Um,
Right.
and you know, I think that these type of conversations, more people need to hear them, because when you hear all of you all's story, everybody that's on here, and take myself out of it. But when you hear everything that everybody has contributed to this call tonight, in my humble opinion, everybody here is very successful. But everybody here also shared that there has been some challenging times along the way. And I think that people need to understand that success is not for the weak. It ain't for the
Right.
weak. If you are not willing to endure, and if you're not willing to, you know, go through the mud and go through the fire, it's just not. I also think people need to understand, as we mentioned, hey, things don't happen overnight. I tell people Rome wasn't built in a day. It just
Mhm.
wasn't. And you have to be able to dedicate the time. And you need positive people around you. This is good energy. So, regardless of different people sharing different journeys, you don't hear anybody second guessing, whatever John may have going on, or whatever Miss Positive have going on, or whatever Light Productions have going on, or Arnold, or who's ever on here. You hear nothing but, okay, this is my story, but this is still what you got to keep doing. Basically, you just got to keep going. And I think that Mr. Light Productions, I appreciate you sharing it, because sometimes I share with somebody just yesterday, poverty can be a mindset a lot of the
Oh
time.
yeah.
And we don't have these discussions enough. And then when you try to have the discussions, then Lord forbid, and it's kind of like, you know, what do you do? You gonna stay there and am I gonna stay and just wait, or am I gonna choose to get out and do something? And the status of what we do, I don't think matters. That's why I appreciate this space, because we all do different things. Um, there's
Mhm.
positive guys, a lot going on. Mr. Light Productions, you got a lot going on. I know Mr. John got a lot going on. Justin got a lot going on. We got Arnold Poussey on here. I know Frederica got a lot going on. We got all these people on this call that actually have a lot of things that I'm pretty sure going on, and nobody is here. And we have a barber. Okay, who's the barber? I'm a hairstylist. Who's the barber? We got a barber on the call.
Sorry,
I think it might be James.
James.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
me and me and Arnold, we have our own barbershop. It's called Man Cave Barbershop. Yeah,
well,
Nice.
salute to you all. That's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to say something. I grew up in rural Illinois, Michael. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's just a very small town,
Mhm.
but I've always been, I worked at the White Castle over there, and I
Okay.
going back to what Light Production said. I've just always wanted that, that thirst for power and money. Not power, but more like money. I just want to, be like the guys we see on TV. So me and my friend James Doherty decided to open up, make a barbershop. We're located in Staten Island. Sorry, I got a call. Might be a client, but I'm just gonna hurry up and try and finish here. But yeah, I've
Good problems to
always
have. Good problems.
yeah, it's a very good problem. I've always wanted to you know you know get a lot of money. We are getting a lot of traction in the barbershop, so that's what I love. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Well, thank you all. Thank you for sharing that.
I have a question for John S. You said you have a business, right? John?
Yes, yes. I clean garbage
What?
pails. Yes.
You clean garbage house? Where are you what's
Yes.
the name of your business? I'm just curious.
I&W pressure washing. Figured it's a
Oh.
nice, catchy name.
Oh yeah. Where are you located?
Staten Island, New York, serving the
And
people
I
of Tottenville.
can I have your phone number in case I'm interested? Because I live in New York too.
course I could. Yes, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Do you work
Yeah.
by yourself, or you're a co-owner of this business?
I do have a yes, a co-owner. Sometimes, when he's not around, you gotta provide for him. When he's not around, you gotta step up, and
Is this
that's
more? Sorry, go
excuse
ahead.
me.
Never mind.
No, that's the valuable thing with business. When someone's not able to be there, you gotta be on their back. You gotta step up. Provide for yourself and help the
Mhm.
business. That's what I've been doing lately. He's been
Yeah.
on vacation, but I've been working. So yeah.
I think this is like quite a unique business. How did you get it kickstarted though? Because that seems like a very new thing for most
Of
areas.
course, listen, a lot of people, and I bet a lot of you guys, you just don't want you don't want to deal with your garbage cans. They're gross, disgusting. No one wants to clean them, so that's why we do it for you. It's really convenient. I think, I think it's something that people just don't want to do. So, we provide that service for them.
Good idea to do in the summer.
Yeah, of course.
So, John, can I please have the number so I can message you?
Yes, of
Just
course.
text in the chat.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
I'm gonna take it down as well because my garbage pails are dirty.
Okay.
This is amazing.
But yeah, I just said that the other day myself, John. I said that in regards to my garbage pail outside. Now, luckily enough, I got a boyfriend that can go out there and clean it out and stuff. But if I was just me, look, I'd be hiring. It was just me. I'd be hiring you because I'm just like it's flies and maggots and
Yeah.
all that other
No one
stuff in
want
there. I'm
really
like,
no one wants to deal with
no,
that.
thank you.
Leave it to us. We'll clean it. We'll make it look brand new, and you can just sit back,
Look, see.
relax, and
Look,
enjoy.
they come, they pick up the trash, they dump it, they should handle that part too, I feel like.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, that's a valuable business to
it
have. And
is.
it's like even with going back to just thinking about that type of business, when, like you said, people think about that fact, like, I don't want to do that or
No one
whatever,
wants
to
to do
hire
it.
somebody for that. Or just like, I mean, with when you think about the trash man, the way the trash man was looked at in regards to is like, you work for the trash company, you just go
Yeah.
around picking up trash every day until they realize and see how much that trash man makes doing that business. And with, I mean, depending on where you're at, and which I think for the most part, a lot of them, like across the boards, they got pensions. They got, I
Mhm.
mean, all types of benefits that you get with doing that business. So, and it's like, okay, and then you see with that trash man's driving or whatever, and it's like, okay, look, yeah, my job is, I pick up trash. Yeah, and I make pretty damn good money doing it too. So
And a lot of people, they want to
yeah,
associate, the garbage business with, gross, it's disgusting. But
yeah,
hey, in this business, you don't want to care what other people think. You just want to, do what you got to do, make money, and keep moving forwards. That's it. And that's what I think.
exactly.
There's a lot of people, they say, garbage, that's disgusting. Why do you do that? I do it to make money. And I'm not going to brag, but I do pretty well by it. So, you gotta get your hands dirty sometimes.
Someone's got to do the work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, someone's
Absolutely.
got to
And
do it.
look, and if I can ask you, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
Amazing.
I love
Yep.
it. Look, kudos to you because
Actually
that
giving you
just
like
I was just like, yeah,
25, not
look,
16.
I put you in your early 20s or whatever, very early
Right.
20s, like 21 or so or something in that range. And to be a teen in that, like, super kudos to you because that was one of like Lisa said, I got a lot going on. I also do a newsletter, and my newsletter is geared to entrepreneurs. And at the moment it's geared to Black entrepreneurs. And when I started, I said the first start of my talking about entrepreneurs was the youth, in regards to youth businesses and things like that, because
Yeah.
we always think about in being an entrepreneur of being an adult and having that business when we get grown and get old enough. And we talked about before about one of our previous shows, whereas with being an entrepreneur and having a business and things of that nature, it's just like it's not taught to us to do that in school. And so when you learn that, you either learn it from somebody that, say, your parents or your mentor, uncle, aunt, whoever that has their business. I want to be like them. Whereas it shouldn't be just on the basis of that. That's something that should be taught to us, or should have been taught to us coming up in school and learning that or whatever. So it's like to pick that up at a young age to say, like, you know what, I'm going to have a business and I'm going to be my own boss and not to, and not to knock anybody that, because we all, I started at McDonald's, my first job or whatever and stuff. Before I started at McDonald's, my thing was, it's like, okay, I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to travel the world and go everywhere and do this, that, and the third. And it didn't work out in that way because fear. I let fear stop me, and I didn't take that route. Whereas, hey, I could have been the next Patti LaBelle. Who knows or whatever. But it's just like, down the road, and as I got older and older, it's like, okay, I still like I look, I sing for myself. I sing for my boyfriend. I sing, of course, in the shower, and sometimes on live on TikTok. You may catch me there singing, but it's just like I said, if that's not going to be the route, it'll be something else in some kind of way that I can help others and inspire others. And so, in doing that, in this moment, you never know who's watching the YouTube, who's watching the Zoom. You're inspiring other teens, to be like, you know what? He created this business, and I'm sure that, his business is going to be huge. I might want to do that or create some type of business. So, it's like, yeah, super kudos to you and that there, because to be in that space and to take that leap of faith to say, like, you know what, regardless of what everybody else is doing, I'm going to take a different route because that's unique, in doing that,
Thank
because
you.
who
Thank you.
who's thinking about doing that as a teen? I know I for sure wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, I'm a girl, so it's like
Yeah.
and that there is like, I'm not touching that there or whatever. It's just like,
Someone's got to do it. At the end of the
yeah,
day,
yeah. Like I
someone's got
said,
to do it.
somebody's got to do it, and somebody's got to grab that bull by the horns and say, like, you know what, I'm going to take that route, and you're the only one in your area, I'm sure, with that
Yeah.
business. So
Yeah.
you're dominating, in that sense. So it's like, look, and you just got a new client. Look at that. Look, I didn't say, look at God.
Look
Look.
that word.
I just want to add on real quick. You talked about school not teaching you this stuff. I think I learned more in the past, 15, 30 minutes, actually like valuable stuff in this Zoom call than I've ever done in school, besides learning about George Washington and all that. That means nothing. This is really important. I think that I'm taking a
Oh
lot
yeah,
out of this. So I want to thank all of you guys for it. Thank you.
And we thank
absolutely.
you for your presence.
Definitely, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anybody
Man,
else?
I just want to encourage you. I remember when I was 15 years old, I was washing windows at they had this store called Burke's Outlet in Cato's, and I would go to movie gallery in different places, and I would charge like 25 an hour. And that was the way how a lot of people first started to know who I was. What you're doing, it's a great form of grassroots. You're getting down there, and this day and age, there are more people between the ages of 15 and 25 becoming multimillionaires than anybody else. You're young, you're hot, meaning in the way people are attracted to your energy. Take that and use that in a good way. Just always think about how you're interacting with people, and you can build up something in the next year and a half that will literally blow your mind. You're gonna have to be asking people, "Hey, I'll pay you whatever you want. Just come help me."
Thank you so much.
Stay
That means
focused.
so much
You
to
can do
us.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, just don't give up.
Thank
So
you.
Miss Frederica has her hand up, so we want her to chime in.
Well, good evening, everybody, officially.
Good evening.
Just want to first of all thank everybody for being on the call. Y'all have really inspired me to kind of venture out on some things that I've been kind of hesitant about. So I do want to thank you guys for that inspiration as well as that motivation. Just want to say real quickly, I'm just at that point in my life where my daughter is a senior in high school and I'm a single mom. So when she graduates, it'll just be me. Literally, it'll just be me. And so this transition that I'm entering into is kind of like, what am I supposed to do after she leaves? And so many opportunities have started to present themselves to me in the form of businesses. I was approached actually a couple of years ago to start a pageant here in Mississippi. My daughter was the 2022-2023 Miss Teen Plus America.
Nice.
And during that whole experience, well, she's been a pageant girl since she was 4 years old. And so
Oh,
going through that experience, there was a lady that saw how passionate I was, not only about my daughter, but about other young ladies within that pageant system. And she saw that. And also, she was watching me online with like my community service and the different things that I was doing around my hometown. And she wanted me to start a pageant system here in Mississippi. But at that time I
oh,
had some health, yeah, I had some health issues going on and all of that, so I couldn't get it started. But y'all just keep a lookout. It's gonna be some pageant stuff going on in a little while on my pages. Um,
okay. What
so
part of Mississippi are you in?
I am in Jackson.
Okay.
I was just
Yeah,
Well, definitely.
actually.
Oh,
yeah. So to be authentic
so it's,
beauties
it's
all the way. Yep. And also just like doing like the booster clubs and stuff in my daughter's school, I've always done like the fundraising part. So now that I'm kind of like starting to be like semi-retired, everybody's like, well, what's your secret? How did you raise all of this money, and how did you do this and how did you do that? And I always tell them, you just have to simply network, just like with
Mhm.
Mhm.
Correct.
You got a network.
Hey, Marcus. Sorry to go off topic here, but you live in Oxford, right? Right by the Ole Miss Stadium. All right. Yeah, just making sure. Mississippi's
Who live in Oxford? I live in Jackson, but I'm from Holly Springs.
Marcus. Oh, Marcus Smart. Yeah,
Marcus Smart, yeah, that one upside down.
I am from Holly Springs. Graduated from Holly High, 1996.
Nice. I love the area.
Been in Jackson and
Yes.
stuck since then.
Hey,
you
Yeah,
are
you were
not.
just
I'm
planted
stuck,
there.
Jesus. I'm stuck.
Hey, you were planted there. Let those fruits and those branches spread. Let
They
that rock
spread
go
it.
so that
Oh
root goes
yeah.
so deep it cracks the rocks,
Oh,
and
I
it
receive
brings a
it all.
different change.
I receive it all.
Mm,
This is
yes,
amazing.
ma'am.
So while we still flowing good, we got somebody that's been trying to chime on, and her name is Kathy Dale is
Hi,
here.
Kathy.
Hey, Miss
So
Kathy.
we want to tell her hello, and she just went off again. And I think this is like the third or fourth time she's been trying to chime in. So
Oh my.
yeah, so but I did at least want to give her a shout out. So I have two, maybe two and a half, three questions for everybody. Um, she just chimed out. I think it may be something, it may be her service area.
I think she's lagging. Yeah.
That must
Yeah,
be a internet problem. Yeah.
yeah, it could be an internet problem. So I have two and a half, maybe three questions for everybody. So one question is, what has been one of the hardest challenges? The other question is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? The third question is, what keeps you going? What's been the hardest challenge? What's the best piece of advice you've ever gotten? And what keeps you going?
I'll tackle that one first. The hardest challenge was getting out of my own way.
Okay.
Uh, the best piece of advice was to get out of my own way.
Mm.
And what keeps me going is where I come from ain't nothing back there. Ain't
Mm.
the only other way to go is backwards. It ain't nothing back there. I know what's back there. There's nothing.
Mm.
You
So
better preach, preacher.
I'm going forward.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing back there. What about for what? Ain't nothing back there. I'm gonna see what's ahead. If ain't nothing up ahead, I'm gonna find that out. But I know ain't nothing back
Yeah.
there. So Get out of my own way, stay out of my own way, keep moving forward.
Okay.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna piggyback on him in a sense. The first thing that popped in my mind is the inner me. Um, there's always going to be challenges, obstacles outside of you, but really the only thing that ever stops you is what you allow to. There's always another way to get to where you're going. The best advice that was ever given to me, just do it. Whatever it is, no matter how big or small the steps are, just do it. Journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Thankfully, we got cars and bikes and planes nowadays, though, so we can get there even quicker. And just what keeps me going, purpose is one big thing, but I have two beautiful young girls, Aaliyah and Kiana. They're 13 and 5 years old, and they're literally my whole world. And when I look at they're becoming, they're both bilingual already. My oldest daughter's been testing in the top 10 percentile of students in Washington State for her grade, and it's just really blown me away. And when I look at them and their mom, it's like they're just the perfection of what life is. And I can't allow myself to settle in any way when I've been blessed with these treasures, these jewels right here, to be able to make sure they get to the point they need to arrive at. So I have to give 110% or more because I want them to have that example and I want their life to be that much better.
Beautiful. They're God's gift to you.
Amazing.
All right, so I think I'll add on. The hardest part, what was hardest for me is, just getting started, getting your 2 feet, on the ground, starting, your business. I feel like that's the hardest part. You said, what was the second question?
The best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Best piece of advice, be yourself. Don't be someone that you're not. People like you for who you are. And yeah, that's how you motivate people to be themselves by being yourself, and I'm sorry, what's the third question?
Third one, what keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Probably the people around me, my family, you guys, and yeah, just the whole community, my friends, they keep me going.
Awesome. Thank
This
you.
young man's going to grow up to be a politician.
Yeah, I might be a politician.
Look at him. Just so confident about it. Come on, yeah.
You can't, I mean, how could you not love him, right? Like it's just
that's
there.
that's part of your destiny. I can see it like shining.
Yeah.
Thank the Jamaican in me for that. I can see it shining. That's going to be something there. So explore it in the future, man.
Hello?
Yep. We hear you. Is your mic good?
Is my mic good?
Yes.
Who the hell?
Oh, how are you guys doing today?
This might be a troller, I
Doing
think.
good.
That's good. Oh, are you at the Golden Gate Bridge, sir? Arnold Pussy.
That's a troller.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
trying.
troller.
Hold on.
Yeah,
One minute.
this
got it.
This
Hold
is
on.
this is supposed to be something.
Excuse
This is supposed to be something
One
nice.
second.
You're just
I'm
ruining it.
very sorry.
Yeah, like
That's unacceptable.
we're just trying to have a
No,
nice
I got it.
conversation.
I'm getting them off.
I have a
Stop!
question.
Don't ban me, mommy. I like that blackness on you, baby.
That's not
Yeah,
funny at
all
all.
right,
man.
all right.
Come on, man.
Fucking
It's okay.
I mean, it's
It's
just
okay. I
it's the
got it.
age,
I have a
unfortunately, how
question
people are,
for.
but
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He's removed. It's okay.
I'm out of here.
Okay.
I have a question for Jeff. Jeff, I was just wondering. I haven't heard much from you today. What keeps you motivated to keep going?
Like just my family.
Your family? Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Family's everything.
I would like to, if everyone's okay, I would like to answer the questions. My biggest challenge, I would say, people trying to bring me down, or people trying to tease, make fun, as the world is full of just disgusting people, like almost you just saw, but we really just have to try and just get right past them, and just not think about them, and just keep going, stay on your rail. What was the second? Was the second the best piece of advice?
Yes.
don't put all your eggs into one basket. You know, try and
Say
do
that one
everything.
more. Hold on. Repeat that one more thing for the people in the
Say
back. Say
hello.
that again.
Don't put all your eggs into one basket.
No,
I just
drink
Amen.
that
my
is the
water.
best
Amen.
quote I think I've ever heard in my life.
That's
Just
gospel right
That's
there.
so motivational.
that's the mic drop.
Trying to do
I love
everything
it.
and yeah. Who motivates me? Probably my brother, who's like little special needs. My brother Eric. I really try and be there for him, and I want to do everything in my life for him. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up.
And that's important. That right there is
Yeah.
definitely important. It's
And
like,
and
yeah.
it's okay to have those moments. You
Look,
know,
because we do it all the time.
you don't
So it's
have
like,
to
don't worry about that.
apologize.
We're a bunch of crybabies
This
here.
is a
Look.
safe space, so you don't have to apologize for
Yes.
loving your family and for trying to be there. You don't have to apologize for being exhausted. You have to apologize for loving. This is really like it is truly a safe space.
Because that's real. That
This
just
this
shows
is
you, I
just
mean, who
this
you
is
are.
straight true round
And
table
yeah.
talk. This is we just show up as we are. I mean, I done been up in here with my moo and my rag on my head. It's just what you see is what you get, but we just would truly have genuine conversation, but never apologize. And your trials, your challenges is sometimes when you don't like I don't like to hear other people go through stuff, but
Mhm.
those are things that kind of help pull other people through. It kind of lets people know, you know what, you're not alone. So you're
Right.
not alone. You're not alone, and it's okay.
Yeah. God
It's
gives us hardest
okay.
battles to his
Yeah.
strong soldiers. So I
And
mean,
I will say this, I'm gonna go on and put him out there since he is here for any male that is on this call. Um, I'm fixing to give him a unwarranted assignment, but I don't think I know in my heart he doesn't mind. Justin, even though he's busy and it may not be but once a month or whatever, but Justin has a passion for mentoring men. He truly does. Um, and I'm gonna say this again as a woman and a female. We see so much about what women need, but there is a misconception that just women need. So, um, Justin, if you could drop your social media or whatever in the chat, but I will encourage you all. Just remind him that you was on this call and he'll know it's legit.
Of
I
course.
would highly encourage you all. It may take him a day or two, 3 or 4. I'm meddling. Frederica laughing at me, but he gonna respond. Nah, because he responded to me when he didn't know me from Adam's house cat. He didn't know me from Adam's house cat, and he responded. So I would encourage you all to do that. Please do that. It's okay to care for your loved ones. Trust me, it's okay. Don't never apologize. Ever.
Absolutely. I second that because I feel like in this here, and like I said again, I just gotta keep repeating. Like this right here makes my heart smile
Mhm.
because it's moments like this here that are needed for people to come together and be present together and focus in and talk about, the different things that go on in life and what pressures we may have or what our purpose is because we never know who it's going to affect, who it's going to inspire. And it's like, from Arnold saying what, he said, or that's definitely an inspiration to so many. It's an inspiration to me for sure, because like I say, when you have ones in your life that you want them to see you doing something purposeful, and you want them to be proud of you, and it's like in that moment or whatever. I think, so I'm gonna go ahead and quickly answer the questions, since I'm here or whatever, because it's like that's what keeps me going in what I do now, and hence to whereas, like I said, where the name comes from. I always got to go back to, my that's my online persona. And the reason being because it's like it takes too much energy to be negative. And so I always want to be positive. And I always try to give an encouraging word to people. And I feel like that was my purpose for what I was put here on earth to do. So that's who I am, Miss Positive, because I always want to be able to encourage somebody if I can. If I encourage one person in a day, if I put a smile on one person's face in a day, I've done my job for the day. And I don't have to do anything else. Now, if I get more than that, just like, okay, I'm just showing off because, that's what I do too. But it's just like, that's the energy that I always want to put out there. And I never want there to be a moment of whereas somebody says like, okay, well, it's like, Miss Positive, she's giving off some negative energy. She's got this Debbie Downer thing going on. And it's like that don't coincide with, who she is. And so it kind of forces me to keep going in that, because that's the persona that I want to live up to. And going back to what Justin said, that was one of my biggest, things that kind of stopped me, because of the thinking that I can't do this. Who's going to pay attention to, what I'm doing or whatever? And thinking the negative before I got to the point of saying like, okay, you got to stop that thinking of that negative. You got to keep on going. And so that's the second question I was asked as to, the best advice that was given to me. Keep going, like I said, rip the band-aid off and keep going, because you gotta have that pressure applied to make it to where you want to get to, whatever, because you don't get to a place of you know comfort and doing what you got to do by being content. You're not gonna get there being by being content. You gotta have that push to push you out of that comfort zone. And I just told somebody that today, because and shout out to another author or whatever, because I got to speak on her, Miss Jessie Ann, and she'll be on one of my features for the newsletter coming up soon. Because I said to her, I always see when she puts up in regards to her book, Boss Talks. And I said, you know what? I said, my word for you today is, because every time it doesn't matter. If a thought comes to me and I have access to you, I'm going to give you that encouragement of what you should be doing. So I said to her, I said, Boss Talks. You have the book Boss Talks, Boss the Queen. You need a podcast so that you can speak to women, so you can speak to people to teach them and show them how to boss up and how to be that queen in your business, because they need to hear it. They need to see where you came from and the struggles that you went through, so you can give that testimony to be the testament for someone else to get to where they want to be at or whatever. And she said, well, I'm not very social. She said that, that's something that's, not even in the realm of what I think about. She said, people tell me this all the time. Well, it's like, well, people tell you this all the time and they keep telling you something, and especially if it's on a positive page, then it's like, I think you should listen. I think you should go with it, because, that's something that you really need to put out there. And in pivoting, in doing that, that's how you're going to get to where you need to be at. And that's why also too, that push of me doing the newsletter, because I've been on I'm so focused on I gotta hustle and bustle to get this business going and make this money, and not thinking about I need to connect with people. So connecting with you guys and connecting with all of y'all is giving me that inspiration to say, like, you know what, I gotta keep doing what I'm doing, even if when the moments where I feel like I'm not getting any traction at all, somebody sees me. So for anybody that's listening, and for all of y'all, somebody, we see you. we see what you're doing. We see what's going on because especially in this day and age of being on social media, you're seen. And so you want to be seen in a positive light opposed to a negative. And don't ever let nobody tell you that in regards to that negative light that we all see, because we see it all the time. You might have a moment of where we're laughing at something on there that we've seen on social media where it might be in a negative, but it's just like, you got to think about the aspect of, the positive. That's the inspiration, not the negative, because they're getting all that light from that negativity, but they're also getting that negative, conversation of all he or she is putting out there is negativity and nothing positive. So you don't want to ingest that negativity or whatever. We want to ingest that positivity in what we're doing. So that's the whole key of, like I said, what keeps me going, as far as for, especially faith, as well, or whatever, because it's just like, the faith, the purpose, and just the goals of wanting to achieve. And for me, it's my grandkids. I got granddaughters that, my oldest granddaughter is 12, about to be 13. The middle one is 9, about to be 10, and the little one, she can't process the thoughts just yet because she's only 10 months. But with her energy, and as she comes up, I want her to be able to see me and look at and say like, okay, and even her mom, because it's like, okay, my daughter, she's 31, and it's like, she picked her career, but I also let her know it's like, okay, just because you picked that career doesn't mean that you can't pivot at the age that you are to say, like, you know what, I can change this, and which kudos to her because, she's staying within the realm of healthcare, but she's pivoting to another aspect of healthcare to progress to be where she wants to be at and not being content with to say like, okay, I'm just going to stay a CNA. No, you can pivot and create to do something else to, to be in the realm that you want to be in, to be have more time with your kids. But to, like my granddaughter that's 12, she's looking at me now like, grandma, when are you going to be on live on TikTok? Or she's probably watching the podcast now because she wants to listen and see. And if she comes back to me, well, I was listening to that part where you said, grandma, about X, Y, and Z. And that's the thing that, you want to put out there to, to get out to people of, the positive things so they can learn and utilize that information. So again, thank you to everybody. And I'm gonna stop talking because I'm like Letha, look, I continue to talk and I know everybody else. I want to hear from everybody as to, answering the questions because again, it's a space for everybody to be able to, add their words in as well and their different views in life. So Phil and Bob and James and everybody. Look, Jeff, look,
Yes.
I'm out of here. Look.
What's been your hardest challenge, the best piece of advice, and what keeps you going?
I would love to jump in.
Yes.
My hardest challenge has honestly been, overcoming like the negativity that people around me kind of say. I have red hair and I get picked on for it, but you just got to move past that, and that's been my hardest challenge. But I've done great things, just kind of ignoring it and pushing through. The best piece of advice I've ever gotten is very similar to Light Productions LLC. Just do it. That's that is great advice, and you just got to push through that initial hump of hardness, and then you could get to the inner exterior of what you want to accomplish. And I think my family keeps me going. They are just a rock, and I need that sometimes.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's very amazing. Anybody else want to share?
Bill, do you want to go ahead or no?
You can go on.
I'm good. I don't got anything to say. It was a great night. I'm thankful for everyone here. Great time, great people,
Thank you
and
all
I'm
for
thankful
being
for
here.
this opportunity. Thank you guys.
We thank y'all for being here. Frederica, if y'all don't mind, check the chat. If you all could send email us, it's in the chat, bio headshots, all your social media links. When you send social media links, I need the actual direct link. Don't type it in. Because it's gonna be a copy and paste. I would like to do bios on each one of you all, on your jobs, your businesses, whatever. Light production, I got yours, but I need if you got a picture of yourself you want to use, you could just send it to me directly. But that's also what we do here. We like to open up the invitation to just do highlights of people as well. It's just what we want to do because there's enough positive stuff going on in the world. And it is our belief, not just my belief, but it's our belief that we want to be the change we want to see. So we want to spread more positiveness in the world.
I agree.
Yes. Anybody else?
I just had like one question. There was like people coming in and out. Is there like anyone waiting to share their ideas? Because I would love to hear from other people.
Yeah. So is anybody else want to give their ideas? We've opened it up so we can wait a few moments to see. Only reason I don't want to do roll call because I don't want to put nobody on blast. But is there anybody else who wants to share?
I'll share. I'll answer the three questions on the hardest challenge.
Yes, sir.
I'd say the hardest challenge that I've faced recently has just been putting myself out there, especially now it's summer and I'm not in school much, so I'm not seeing my friends as much. It's hard to spend a lot of time at home by myself, but you got to break through the shell and you got to really get out there you got to take action like we were talking about before because nothing's going to be handed to you and you got to be a pioneer and you got to take the first step. And I'd say best piece of advice, it's not related to the last part, but I think a handshake is more important than anything you're going to be taught in school. What that means really is meeting the right people and communicating with the right people, having the right connections is going to get you further in life than it is like an education. Because if I could go to college for 4 years, go a couple $1,000 in debt, and be a lawyer, and I'm not going to have money till I'm 35, that's not a life I want to live. But if I know a few good people, get a good job, I think that's the right start.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Thank
That
you,
was
Bob.
beautiful. That was amazing.
Thank you, Bob.
Arnold, you want to say anything?
There's no one like in the waiting room waiting to say anything, right?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was just I was just saying nice to Bob. I love that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be right back.
Somebody was in the waiting room. We had two people, but somebody got on with something on their head. So I just removed their video and put them back. And then I didn't even click on the last person since we coming to a close. Is there anything else that anybody wants to say? I want to commend you, gentlemen. The men have showed out. So y'all keep Justin encouraged because he had a lot of support tonight. We had more men. First of all, we haven't had this many men on a call at one time.
Ever, never, ever.
Y'all have outweighed the ladies.
The first time for everything.
Yes.
Right.
And I want to
100%, Bob.
clap
100%.
for the young men for being on here. And I think I'm not sure, is our youngest 16? I'm not sure. I want to ask.
I'm 15. I'm 15.
15. Our youngest is 15. So we want to thank you all for being here. That's commendable as well. We've been worrying about how do you connect with the younger people. So we're working on that. So if nothing else, now I will tell you all this. I had a little kerfuffle. So as I was sharing the YouTube to Facebook, it kept pulling up Mr. Light Productions phone number. So I went in
Yeah,
the
I've gotten
Zoom.
a few texts.
I went in the Zoom and changed your name to Light Production. So I'll wait till we like all the way done and then and see if we can reshare it. But I am on I am on YouTube under Letha's Real Talk. So this is my YouTube name that y'all see right here. So it's Aaron. We're live now. So normally I go live on YouTube, then I post it to Facebook. So I know somebody shared it, but I took it down. And every time I kept, even though I tried to create a thumbnail picture and all that, it just loves your phone number tonight. And so I took that. I didn't want to be posting it with your number on there. So it doesn't show it on YouTube. It was showing it when I share it from YouTube to Facebook for some odd reason. So that's why I took it off Facebook. And I'm gonna try to work on that on my end after we get off tonight. That's the only reason I took it off. I did it like 4 or 5 times and it just still wanted to share. And I didn't want to be doing that, you know? So, but we are on YouTube. Is there anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to shout out the fellas for being on here. I am usually the only guy on here. And Arnold, I am a man that can appreciate the fact that you express that level of emotion. I think more men need to show that we do have that side of humanity in us. Um, and I just encourage the men on this call and any man that listens to this. I'm 41 years old now, but I wish when I was 16 years old, I had a taken better care of my mental health. So if that's not something that I know that's not, at least where I grew up at, that wasn't a thing. But my goal is to push that anywhere. So the things that you have to do to make sure that your mental health is in a good space, to make sure that you know that you are of value, and that doesn't take away from anybody else's, do those things. If that's a therapist, if it's a mental health coach, if it's going to the gym, if it's going hiking, whatever you got to do to remain healthy and keep your mental space in a good space, um, do that. I encourage you to do that. Please do that. Please, please, please do that. At 16 years old, you already got a lot going on. The other brother, 15 years old, he got a lot going on. Y'all, the potential for like I think like production said, y'all in that age range where people becoming millionaires, and y'all got the potential to do it. So just make that happen. But please, please, please keep your mental health in check, because as you get older, I didn't see my therapist until I was 36 years old, and by that time I was between either this therapy thing works or I'm going to get out of here. And so I encourage young men to get in front of that now. That way, as you get older, if you're dealing with somebody who can't respect the fact that you're trying to keep your mental space clear, don't deal with them.
Yeah.
Shout out to Light Production. He has
Yeah.
2 daughters. I got 2 daughters, so we girl dad. Shout out to the girl dad.
Oh, they
And
change your life, don't they?
oh my man, who that? I tell
Yeah.
you this much. My daughter came to me the other day. She's pretty much almost finished writing her first book at 13 years old. And I had to
Oh,
walk
nice.
away and wipe my eyes because she was like, I was inspired by your book. And I'm like, yo, you know what you doing.
Oh,
You know what I'm
oh
saying?
my goodness.
Yeah.
So, bro, I got to tell you, my youngest daughter now is trying to become a little TikTok influencer. So she's
Mm,
always showing me videos, and it's like, really? But my oldest daughter does animation and draws. So she sends me these things and shows me these things, and we sit down and look at them, and I'm just like, and she goes on about her inspiration. And remember when you did this and that? I'm just like, stop, stop. Like,
You know what's funny? My 13-year-old has a YouTube page, and that's what she does. She does her animation, she writes her script, she gets people to do voice acting
right,
for it and everything. So I can't
man.
help her with the production, but I'm gonna be looking you up and I'll point in your direction.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man, just as fathers, I think it changes your perspective on wanting to see that next generation be patterned the right way. So yeah, I love
Absolutely.
it. I love it. Yeah.
Y'all showed out tonight. We wasn't expecting this word with Miss Positive and Frederica
Look,
and
not at
Justin
all.
You
and
And
did a lot.
Justin. So
I
we
think we forgot to add as well, and I got to put this out there because this is a three-part segment. We were going to have everything, I was thinking
Yeah.
everything all in one, but it's a lot to, this subject. So this is the
right.
first segment of this here with the title is supposed to be the mindset and turning pressure into purpose. And so the first part, which we just tackled, miraculously and amazingly. So again, thank you to everybody with the turning the pressure into purpose and reinventing yourself at any stage. So the second part, which will be next week, I believe, Lisa, if we're going to continue with it next week. That would be the overcoming imposter syndrome in a digital space. How to show up with
Mm,
confidence and own your authentic voice online and stop comparing your starting line to someone else's finish line. So that's going to be
mm,
the next segment of this just staying in the purpose zone because we kind of touched on it a little bit because I think a lot of us here if I'm correct, we've had those moments of that, whereas you feel like I can't, or that I shouldn't be, or, I'm not good enough, or whatever the case may be in doing what I'm trying to do. And that's all a part of that syndrome to where it's like, yeah, we can because we can do anything that we set our minds to. So yeah, I just had to add
mm.
that in regards to because we didn't mention that in the beginning, but yeah, this is three-part series to this here. So it's like that's the next part to it that yeah, definitely want to speak on. So that would be cool if, any one of you guys, come back and join in on that part of the conversation as well. I think I speak for all
Just
of us to
let me
say
know.
like, that would be so dope, to continue the conversation.
So I just put the email in there, and if you what we can do moving forward, if you want to get, I can also email the information. So if you just send an email that says, "Hey, add me to the email list," then I'll make sure that you get the information. Okay, we will not I we will make sure you get the information. But the email is in there. It is up on YouTube. Now, somebody did share it on their Facebook. I could not load it on my phone thanks to T-Mobile. But when they shared the video that I sent them to their text, it did not pull up Light Productions phone number, thank God. It pulled up
Okay.
like the link, but I had a problem loading it on my phone from their page. So, but it is on YouTube. Like we're officially live on YouTube right now.
I would
So,
just like to say I did get
yes.
the meeting information from this Facebook post,
Okay.
and I don't know if this is new. If you guys still just did the Facebook, but that's just how I found out the meeting.
Well, we thank you. We will share in all type of groups, because we wanna the platform is diverse. This is a diverse platform. And I stand behind that. We don't do no hate, even if there are discussions that we have to have, we can have them as long as we respecting each other. But
Exactly.
this is what the world needs to see. So yeah, I wish I hope everybody here truly understands that it is deeply an honor because I was not expecting this tonight. So I'm like very moved, and I do want to take a moment. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Positive. Now, she mentioned earlier, and she mentioned the other night about us linking up and how, like, I reached out to her, but what she doesn't understand, for me, that was a big thing for me. My platform is genuinely it's not even my platform. This is our platform. So if you hear, this is your space. This is no longer my platform. I'm not here to make things look like everybody else's. I'm not here to try to do things how everybody else do things. So when y'all spoke about keep going, I've heard more no's than I've heard yeses.
Oh yeah.
I really have. I've heard people, they wanted to see the analytics, they wanted to see this, they wanted to see that. Um, and I really took a break for a few years. I shouldn't have, but I did. Um, and I'm just who I am. If you see me get up and rant one day, it ain't nothing personal. You would truly have to know me to just truly know me. But it means, it genuinely means a whole lot. Because she's just jumping in, doing things, and it is greatly appreciated. I also want to give a shout out to Light Productions LLC, because there is another false narrative that people from certain states together, they don't network. You know, I met Frederica because she would come to my job, and that's how I met her, through the place I work, cutting her hair off and on. You know, I wasn't always the one to cut it, but that's how I met her. But she just always had like I mean, her demeanor has just always been like phenomenal to me. Just the way she carries herself, presents herself, and when you see her, she literally always doing something community service wise. Always. She just, that's just what she does. And so, Mr. Light Production, I do want to tell you thank you for being here and being present, because when I read what you sent me, it made, I mean, for me, I take it as an honor. For everybody being here is an honor. You know, to have entrepreneurs, to have 15 and 16-year olds, to me, it's an honor. I don't, it don't
Mm.
take, it's not taken lightly. So if you fall under a certain age bracket, if you on this call and you're under 35, just know that it's an honor to be in your presence, because as well as you all say that you have learned something, we have learned something too. And I support your families. I well, not support. I do support your families, but I applaud your families for supporting you in your endeavors at such a young age. Because
Exactly.
you know, I mean, I don't know, I'm not even gonna say it. That may be a topic for another call, but I I applaud any family that support in endeavors that young people have, and that they encourage them and make them feel good about whatever it is that they are doing, because it's so many other things that you all could be doing. And no matter the title, the caliber, no matter what it is, I mean, just hearing what I heard tonight just reminded me I gotta keep going. It ain't too late. And um you all have truly motivated me. And you also
Yeah.
motivated me because there are more males on this call. That's not normal at all. I don't care what type of, if it's not a male given audience, from the church house to the outhouse, it ain't normal. It's just not normal. And so it's with very great gratitude, sincere gratitude, humbling gratitude, grateful gratitude, and thankful gratitude. All of you out here, I appreciate you. Now we appreciate you, not I. We. Now we normally do something, and I ain't gonna put nobody on the spot, but somebody finna get put on the spot. We got a lot of gentlemen on this call. I don't care how you close out, long as it's with something positive. I don't care if all of you have something positive to say. But whoever ends us last, say something like, until next time, see y'all later, or have a good week, and then I'm going to press the end button. With that being said, I'm officially going on mute for the duration of the call.
Well, I just want to encourage everybody to always pursue your best, never give up. As they say, carpe diem, how you begin the day. Always stay positive. Take notes, journal. All that stuff pays into something better. For you young ones that are out there and doing this, don't stop, because it's going to get easier. Some moments it gets harder, but eventually it becomes just like walking. Stay blessed.
Yeah, just keep pushing. It may not look like anything is moving, but keep pushing. I One of the things I think about often is they say insanity is continuing to do the same thing and expecting different results. But when you're in the gym, you keep doing the same thing and expect different results. When you're in business, you try to finagle little things and move things around, but your business model is your business model. You keep doing what you got to do and you expect different results. So keep pushing, fall in love with learning and fall in love with networking. That's the key to getting anything going. And be you. One of the things that Light University said, that I literally said it in my consultation today with a business coach. Um, I do not want to lose me as a man who believes in character and integrity. I don't want to lose that in this business, in any business I do. I'd rather never have $1 million than lose my character and my integrity. So
Right.
I want to stay there. You have to make that decision. I heard Arnold talking about like how he wants the money, but he also wants to maintain a level of character and integrity. Please keep that, because rich people are not evil. I plan on being one of them, and I'm not rich and I'm not evil. But
Right.
I'm not gonna get it if I can't get it and maintain my character and my integrity. Um, then I don't want it. And again, I like the sisters. I appreciate all of you for being here. Let's make this happen again. Let's show them we can show out.
Thank you. Great speech. I had a great time with you guys, and I'm very thankful for everyone here. Hopefully, we could meet again and have another great time. Thank you, guys.
I want to say thank you for everyone. I really learned a lot, and we're just a bunch of young men trying to make it, and your advice really helped us. And I think we really needed that. We really need someone to talk to, and you guys are really wise people. So I just want to say thank you, and until next time.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. It was great. This is great tonight. I would just like to end on a quote that kind of just sums up what we talked about today. Some people want it to happen, some people wish it would happen, but some people actually make it happen. And I just think that is a very strong, powerful quote. And thanks again for everybody. I will love to come back to this. This is such a great space. Thank you so much.
And Arnold, I love a good quote. That's what I'm talking about. Look, that is one of my favorite quotes. So yes, absolutely. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
We make it happen. That's right.
I just wanted to say thank you to all of the young men who came on and shared their stories and their testimonies. Y'all have been an inspiration to me. and inspiration to a lot of our viewers and a lot of our listeners. And I just wanted to make sure that I encourage you all to keep going. Like, no matter what, like, keep going. Even at your age, you may get a million no's, but keep going. Don't ever doubt yourself, and don't ever let someone tell you that you can't do something. Always know that you can, and keep pushing no matter what.
That's facts.
Y'all ain't say to next time. So until
Till
next
next
time,
time.
y'all got the email.
Because I have a closing message. Look.
Okay.
So they're gonna leave it to Miss Talkative, or like Miss Positive Talkative. But yeah, my closing message is that the current chapter does not have to become your final chapter. Pressure may
Ooh.
have changed you, but now you get to decide what you become because of what you have reinvented. Reinvented doesn't require permission, and purpose doesn't have an age limit. So, with that being said, thank you again to everybody. And until next time, hopefully, we can do this again very soon.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good
Y'all
night.
have a good night.
Yes,
Thank
yes. Good night. Good
y'all.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.